Hello friends. Didn't see you there. I'm Alex with the Unprofessional Opinion channel, where we talk about various topics including firearms training, firearms history, and everything in between. Myself and my friend Dayton are going to come up with some more in-depth content for you later on. But today I figured you want to see an interesting piece of gear that I recently just acquired. Specifically this jacket that I'm wearing. This is a West German Bundesgrenzschutz, or Federal Border Guard, camouflage jacket in the Sumpftarn or swamp pattern. It's also referred to as Sumpfmuster, but Muster and Tern are interchangeable words in German for camouflage pattern. So, a little history about the BGS. It was founded in 1951, and it was really Germany's first post-war military force after the end of the Second World War. It predates the West German Bundeswehr Federal Army by 4 years. And the interesting thing about this service is that it was created by the Western Allied powers to police the internal border between the Western zones and the Soviet zone, due to how fluid and lawless this border was as in the days after this end of the Second World War. And the Western Allies wanted specifically a German force to patrol this border, mainly to assuage Soviet fears of a Western Allied incursion over the border, also because local German men would know the border better than the Allied troops stationed there, and also due to a demobilization of Allied troops in the region. Since this is the end of the Second World War, there's not really much of a need of those forces anymore, even with the Cold War tensions rising. So the BGS was very heavily based on the old German Wehrmacht. They used German weapons like the Kar98K. They had reconditioned German gear like the M40 Stahlhelm. And of course, they adopted a World War II camouflage pattern as their main camouflage pattern for field and border police operations. This jacket, the specific model, was made in the late 60s. This is a second pattern. So there's a first pattern, a second pattern, and a third pattern. And the main difference is just due to the color schemes and different shapes. But it is very similar to the Wehrmacht Sumpftarn. Some features of this jacket is that it has these 4 huge pockets here, and each one has a ton of organization. I know you probably cannot see that, but each one has its own internal set of pocket organizers. It's very German, very efficient. This used to be a shoulder pocket with the BGS insignia on it. However, when this jacket was demilitarized, was sold for surplus, the BGS just cut this shoulder pocket off to remove the insignia, because German law is very strict on the impersonation of police forces and federal agents. So they figured they might as well just remove the insignia so nefarious entities couldn't do stuff like that. Also, interesting feature is that it has D-rings on the back for mounting web gear, and also these shoulders up here are open, and that's so you can feed the leather web gear through these shoulder pauldrons, I guess you call them, and clip them on the front. Another interesting thing is that there's an internal pocket that is made for an Israeli-style bandage, or what would later be referred to as an Israeli bandage. Kind of fits I have a Cat 7 in here to demonstrate its size, and it does fit a Cat T very well. Germans were making cool tourniquet pouches before tourniquets were cool. So this uniform was in use from 1951 to 1976, when it was phased out for political reasons, mostly due to its association with the previous Nazi regime, and the BGS is more focused on becoming a civilian law enforcement agency instead of a paramilitary force. But this camouflage pattern was retained by the famous counter-terrorist wing of the Bundesgrenzschutz, the Grenzschutzgruppe 9, or GSG 9, as a helmet cover pattern into the early 2000s. So that's all I have for you today. I figured you'd be interested in seeing this interesting piece of gear. I was really surprised I was able to get a hold of one because they're very rare in the United States. Shout out to my German teacher for helping me learn how to pronounce words like Bundesgrenzschutz. And stay safe, train hard, guys, and like my old mentor used to say, you're all great Americans no matter what they say about you.